Today we're going to be talking about the examination of a scholarly article, or what I have acronymed into EOSA. Please don't let the title freak you out or give you anxiety or anything. This is a very straightforward, follow the directions kind of paper, and it's not very long either, kind of short actually. Um, in the examination of a scholarly article, we have chosen some parameters for you to find an article. Um, I may in the future just start, here's the article we're all going to look at so that we can kind of help each other out. But I haven't done that this semester, so we'll have to see. Anyway, you need to use the library resource, NC Live. It's a very straightforward keyword kind of search. And basically, you want to find an article that is peer reviewed. Okay, there's a little box you can click when you're looking at the advanced search on NC Live that says peer reviewed. Um, that means that people who are experts in the field looked at this particular research and said, yes, this fits, this is good stuff. And so you want to make sure that you're getting the good stuff, for your papers and things. But this one will need to be at least 6 pages long, 6 to 12 pages long. Shouldn't be too hard to find that way. And no older than 5 years. Remember, this semester we're focusing on APA, and one of the things that APA really prizes is currency, and that means how current is your research. If your research and if you're researching in a science field or a psychology field, human sciences too, you want everything to be as recent as possible, because breakthroughs and all that. You don't want to be talking about research on DNA or cancer or whatever from 20 years ago. We didn't know as much then, and so that's part of the thing for APA. So no older than 5 years. So do the math. um, and figure out what was 5 years ago, and then make sure that yours comes in there. And you can actually make that a parameter on the advanced search as well. So one of the things you're going to have to do is find it. My advice to you would be to print it off. If that's not possible or that's not how you work, that's fine. For me, things are easier if I can turn pages and that kind of stuff, but I'm old. Anyway, I want you to get that article and only that article, and don't do any other research. Not because I don't want you to find stuff out, but for this particular paper, it's a very supposed to be a very quick and interesting walkthrough of a scholarly article. The first thing you're going to do is read the abstract. That's another tale of a APA article. Read the abstract, read the first paragraph of the introduction, and then go and find the conclusion, usually the last thing before the references. Read that, and then go back and do the rest of this project. Okay, so you have kind of a beginning, and if you kind of page through and see if they have subheadings, they'll have the title of the paper is one heading, and then everything else that's in there is a subheading. For example, on our assignment sheet, the top says examination of a scholarly article, and then step 1, overview, is a subheading. Okay, so look for those. What you're going to look at as well is to see what kind of references they have, if they have an appendix, if they have something else that they've done, if they've indexed it, if they've given you glossary or whatever like that. Doesn't happen very often, but sometimes. What does happen a lot is at the end of a journal article, you might have a little paragraph bio on the author or authors. Okay, that might be useful. For the actual paper, you're going to write some of that up in a little bit. Take notes on what you're reading. Okay, write things down. Do your notes in your phone, whatever you got to do, but write things down. And then you're going to choose a section of 2 consecutive paragraphs. Now, my advice to you is to go look at those subheadings. Pick one, doesn't matter. Okay, I'm not asking you to read and give me the best 2. I'm just saying, just pick one. It has to be two paragraphs together, under the same subheading. Okay, so find that, kind of mark it for yourself. And then I want you to walk through the questions here that start at the bottom of page 1 in our assignment sheet and go on to page 2, of course. How many sentences do you count in each of the 2 paragraphs? Kind of write it down. Okay, so paragraph 1 has 8 sentences. Paragraph 2 has 12 sentences. Okay. How many words in each sentence? Okay, so in that paragraph 1, sentence 1 has 15 words. Okay, and just go down like that. List all the word counts and then calculate the average. So if paragraphs 1 and 2 together have 20 sentences and you have 250 words, okay, you're going to have, you divide 250 by 20 and you get 1250, 12 and a half. Okay, so that's your average word count. Average sentence in this particular journal has that, or in this particular article. And then read those 2 paragraphs and as paragraphs instead of just doing the counting. And how hard are they? Okay, was it very simple language or was it more complex language? Did it have some specialty words in there that you didn't see before or that you know are part of your discipline? Okay, that's kind of that. And to segue into the next piece, discipline-specific language. You think about, if you're in the medical field, you think about all the things that you call things, okay? You know, normal everyday people would call our chest our chest. Well, you know, it's the thoracic region. And what vertebrae are you talking about? Are you talking about the interstitial lining of the lungs or whatever? So you've got specific dialogue that a lot of people wouldn't understand, and that's what we call technical jargon. It's not a bad thing. In fact, it's expected that if you are an insider in the field, that you will know that jargon. So anything you had to look up, anything that you thought, I know that word means something else. A lot of times we use words in a specific way day to day, but they're used differently inside of specific disciplines. So make a note of those things. You're going to talk about them in your paper. The graphics, choose a graph or a table, something that's not text, and something that's in the article itself, okay? And it can be a drawing, it can be a photo, it can be a chart, some kind of visual other than just strictly words, okay? How is it referenced in the text? How do we know when to look at it? Excuse me, what are we supposed to learn from it? How does the graphic help get that particular point across? How does that particular graphic, whatever it is, aid in the understanding of the article? Okay, because it'll be different depending upon the type of article you've chosen, whether it's an introductory article or whether it's, you know, down the line a ways. So you've got your notes. Now you're going to write up your observations, and you're going to use APA style. So you're going to give me a title page with the right things on it. You're going to give me an abstract. Okay, so save its own page for an abstract, and then after you write everything, go back and write the abstract. It's sort of like a summary after the fact, but it's there for folks, one, who don't want to read the whole thing. I have to read the whole thing, so it's okay. But also for reference. Okay, you'll find this particular APA style thing very helpful when you're doing your own research, because you can read the abstract and you go, oh, that's not what I thought this was about, and move on to something else. Okay. Make sure that you also use headings throughout, and we're going to walk through what those are supposed to be. Basically, the pieces that we put. Hold on, let me turn my page. Yes. The pieces that we have here on the steps, okay? When you look at make observations, those subheadings, I guess you would call them, level 3 headings, you would call them general observations, discipline-specific language, and graphics. You also need an introduction for this, and you need a conclusion for this, and that's going to be a little bit more in here. So consider your audience to be other second year students who are in English 112 somewhere else, on RCC campus or on whatever campus, and they wouldn't necessarily have access to this particular assignment sheet, and they wouldn't necessarily have access to your article. So kind of keep that running around the back of your head. Okay, the introduction should include the title and the authors of the article that you're using, why you chose it, okay, and your general overview of the article. Okay, it does this, it doesn't do that, that kind of stuff. The body is the observations. Okay, you need to have those 3 sections. Okay, we already talked about. Sorry, I'm old, I have to go back and look again. You should have your introduction, and then a paragraph about general observations, a paragraph about discipline-specific language. Make sure you answer the questions that are in each of these sections. Maybe not as direct answers, but as, here's how this would go. And the graphics section, okay? So do those things. Make sure that each body paragraph has a topic sentence and that you work through that. You know how to write a good English paper. And make sure if you're going to cite things from the article, and that's the only thing you should be citing from is the article, make sure that you use the correct APA format. The author's last name and the year are your big deals, okay? Then you need an APA references page listing the article you worked with, and that should be it, okay? If you're tempted to put other things on there, you have not paid attention to what you're supposed to be doing. Make sure that you have about 2 pages of work once you're done, of text from the introduction to the conclusion should be about 2 pages. If you're a little bit short, that's not a big deal. If you're still on page 1, you haven't done enough work. Okay. Make sure that you have a check at the deadlines and that you're working ahead of time so that you can get things in. If you have questions, you know what you can do for me. You can email me, you can text me probably. One other piece for this, the 2 paragraphs that you chose for your analysis, I need for you to get them to fit on your screen and then give me a screenshot. Okay. Print screen, that little button up in the top right corner of your computer, bink, and then Control V into wherever you want it in your paper or on a blank paper, and then name it correctly. Okay. So if you have questions or problems, let me know. I'm more than happy to answer specific questions. Emailing me or texting me and saying, I don't know what I'm supposed to do. That's not good enough. You are way more advanced than that, and you need to make sure that you have a specific question when you ask. Okay? Have a great day. I hope this goes well for you. Bye-bye.